Shalom, first and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shakti from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And the inspiration for this is something I've been seeing a lot on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, okay? And it's this whole uh passport brother thing. All right. You see a lot of women getting on social media platforms and expressing their, let's say, a little bit of anger on how men are getting passports and going to countries where the women there are actually women. You know, they're beautiful, they're feminine, okay, they're loving, they're kind, they're obedient to their husbands and men, not in a slave type fashion, but in a way that brings harmony to the relationship and creates a peaceful home, not only for her, but for her husband. And if they stay together, eventually their children. Men are up and leaving their countries and going to these places like Eastern Europe, maybe not Western Europe, but Eastern Europe. Okay. They're going to South America. Okay. They're going to the Philippines, Taiwan, Laos. Okay. Men are escaping the places they are at, and they're going and finding love, for lack of a better phrase, or finding a woman in another country. And the women in the Western world seem to be very upset, regardless of the front or the facade that they put up, like they can just go on, don't nobody want you all, so on and so forth. It appears that if many of these women in the Western world, Canada, America, all right, many of these women are starting to realize that men are not checking them out. If anything, they've just checked out. Thus the reason why the whole so-called passport brother movement. And the reason why men are checking out is because the women in the Western world are just absolutely horrible. Not all of them, obviously, but a good majority of them are just horrible human beings. Here it is. You have men that are eager and willing to get with women, but the Western world, you know, Canada, America, and certain parts of Europe, not really the eastern part, but the western portion of Europe, okay, they have been tainted, heavily tainted by feminism. And the qualities of feminism are actually anti-feminine. And it's caused men to just say, you know what? This seemed to be working for a lot. This passport thing is working out for a lot of guys. And you know what? It's about time I get one and do the same thing. And it appears that many men are finding a lot of success overseas, and many men are posting videos of their success and starting new lives with these women that they have met in different countries where they are actually feminine. Men have said to themselves, according to Ecclesiastes 7, And in 26, they said, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart, meaning her mind, is snares and nets, meaning that everything is a game, from getting a man's attention to getting him to stay interested while not acting interested, to getting him to marry her, start a house, get a job, and then for the coup de grace, set up the divorce, and then alimony, and then child support, just to start the whole process over again. Or just using guys for attention, or using guys for food. Guys are just tired of it now. But that's the mindset of many of these women. It's just games. And it says that her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her. All right, because seeing as a woman's mind is all about games, she's looking to trap you up. And see, a man's not doesn't want to go into a relationship with a woman, all right, with her mind trying to just trap him up. All right, a man wants to get with a woman for the purpose of actually building a future, building something that can be prosperous and extend for generations. And it says that whoever pleaseth the Most High shall escape her. Now, the Lord might not be dealing with these men as far as on the level as he's dealing with the prophets, but these men have found some type of favor from the Lord where he's giving them the means to get a passport, go overseas, and start a family. Like I said, a lot of these videos on social media are showing the serious disdain that the Western women are having, that men are just leaving them alone. And it says, but the sinner shall be taken by her. All the men who continue to simp and white knight for these chicks, hey man, you see they're getting their lives crushed. All right, look at Will Smith. Okay, because it says, verse 27, behold, this I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I found not. Meaning that out of all the women in the world, all right, King Solomon has not met a good woman. He has not found a woman that has that type of character. And it's, how should I say this? He found out that there are a lot of women. That's probably a better way of putting it. There are a lot of women that do not hold themselves to a righteous standard. He found out that a lot of them do not. And this is the same complaint that you have today with men. Okay, men are not saying that none of them are good, but look how many you have to go through. And I mean, that's just to even possibly find something that you may even want to go out on a date with. Look how many women you have to go through. This is why guys are packing up, going overseas where the women are friendly, there's no games, and they can actually establish something. Verse 29, lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Okay? So if you looking for these, so you had a lot of men that were looking for women to have some type of integrity and loyalty and good behavior, but in this Western world, you're going to be very hard pressed to find it. And I can say from my personal experience of traveling overseas, all right, the women over in Europe, the women that come from like the different islands like Singapore and Vietnam and Laos, okay, they're way more, or especially the more east you go, when you start talking about them countries like Latvia, Estonia, you start talking about places like uh, India, when you start getting to Elam and Ishmael and the man, you got them women are totally different, man. They are so in order. It's damn near mind blowing because you're used to seeing so much filth and whoredom of the women over here that when you actually see a woman that's in order, it's almost like, is this real? Am I being punked? And see, the more women supposedly keep fighting against their natural nature, as they call it, the patriarchy, all right, you're going to continue to see this trend go up and up and up and up to the point where you're going to have a lot of lonely women out here because women already outnumber men by a pretty good number. Some places you may look at it, it's at the bare minimum, it's 2 to 1. You might look at some articles, it might say 4, some might say 7. But the point is, you have in this world women that outnumber men. So you're talking about if you have men in Canada and in the United States leaving to go get other women, the success for many of you women in the Western world to get a man is drastically decreasing. Let's say there is, let's say for example, in the United States, there were 2 million women and 1 million men, 2 to 1. Now, see what's going to happen when, let's just say, 500,000 of them just get passports and leave. Now I just went from 4 to 1. Then half of them leave, 250,000 of them leave. Now you got 8 to 1. I mean, you see how the more the man just, the more men that leave, the odds of the success for you women is drastically decreasing. It'd be very interesting to find out the statistics of men who have gotten passports and gone overseas in the past, I say about 5 years. Would be a very interesting thing to know. But that's all I wanted to say on that. Uh, Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.